A nation is in mourning. A nation is grieving. Joining me at this moment is my colleague Preeti Chaudhary, who's been on the ground talking to many of those families who've suffered this unimaginable loss. Preeti, it's been a tough day for you and the other reporters. I salute each and every one of you for being so resilient there on the ground. Talking to families can't be easy. What's the sense you're getting from having spoken to them? How difficult has it been for each and every one of them to just come to terms with what happened yesterday?
You know, Rajdeep, when you talk about closure, there is no closure for these families in any case. How can there be closure when you lose a loved one in the fashion that they have lost a loved one? And, those tears are not ever going to dry. But having said that, I wish this on no one, on what some of us have seen over the last a little over 25, 26 hours now. Because through the course, Rajdeep, the crash happened, and what we saw, the physical manifestation of the tragedy, of course, is the crash site. But the mammoth, expansive human tragedy plays out here at, the civil hospital in Ahmedabad. This is where the staging is to collect samples of DNA. And I just want to tell our viewers, Rajdeep, just 265 people have been declared dead, 241 declared dead on board the aircraft itself. And till now, just 8 bodies have been handed over of, what I've been given to understand to the families, because only 8 bodies were in a position that they could be recognized. Beyond that, all bodies are charred beyond recognition. Mostly, sadly, unfortunately, what one is actually looking at is to identify remains. Now, how do you do that? It's a mammoth task for the doctors here. The doctors I have known last night when I came in are still working. It's around the clock. Teams of doctors have been brought in from across the country, primarily to actually help in DNA matching. Since last night, Rajdeep, there's been a steady stream of those who live in Ahmedabad, closer to Ahmedabad, of course, were the first ones to come in. Then, Bharuch, Anand. There are a lot of people from Gujarat who actually reside in the UK. And we've seen a lot of them coming in. This morning, you had Vijay Rupani's wife who came in the same flight, were family members of the 53 UK nationals who were killed in this aircraft crash. But I just want to tell you before I throw it back to the studio, the authorities here have given a 3-day timeline for DNA sample matching. And that's, if it happens in just 3 days, 72 hours, it's a huge task. It's a big ask on them, Rajdeep, because what mostly we are picking up is that the agonizing weight of families, the kith and kin, the bereaved, the grieving, who continue to sit here despite knowing that the wait is going to be more than 72 hours, hoping that they'd be able to give dignity in death, a graceful farewell to a death that has been so public and in, the spotlight and public glare, is that the authorities say it just might not be possible. So this wait, which is right now 72 hours given to Rajdeep, like I said, only 8 bodies handed from 265, so we know the sheer numbers we're talking about for DNA matching, could actually be a very long, agonizing wait. So, the closure was never coming, but right now, even that small fig leaf of according dignity to a loved one is a far cry away, and that's the tragedy of it all. I wish it on no one.
That's very unfortunate to hear that it's even so difficult now to even identify the dead. That's the next big challenge. So closure is very far away. As you rightly said, it's going to take a long time for all these families to come to terms with what happened to flight AI-171. Preeti Chaudhary joining me with those details there from the civil hospital in Ahmedabad, where those bodies have been taken. And remember, there are many also still battling grievous injuries, including medical doctors on the ground, young medical doctors who are having their food.